Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pattern Shift on Dr. T TV. I'm Dr. T, and this is the place where we shift reactions into intention so we can all live our most elevated life. Today, I want to dedicate this pattern shift to my amazing Grammy Bernice. It is her birthday today, and if she were with us still in physical form, she would be 103 years old. But as it is, she is with us in energetic form, in spiritual form, and she is really with us in elevated form. She is somebody that had a just major role in my life in developing me, and so many things that I got to absorb from her, and patterns that I got to sync up with, and things that I got to learn from her and just really follow in her footsteps are patterns that are so joyful and so wonderful in my life that it is just amazing how powerful, influential, and impactful my Grammy was, that she is here today. She is literally impacting every single one of our audience, all of our clients at Dr. Tracy Inc., our entire amazing world-class team of emotional trainers at Dr. Tracy Inc. And she's really influencing so much change in the world through our emotional training center at Dr. Tracy Inc. and all the things that we do, all the resources that we have that really help people stop reacting, harness all of these powerful emotions, and be able to direct them into their intentions so they can elevate their life. My Grammy Bernice is somebody who is so influential and impactful, and her legacy is such a powerful one. And it is a legacy of living in a much higher elevated state, even when things around you and patterns around you can be so scary and negative and detrimental and really just, break things down, break people apart. And so I want to do this pattern shift in memory of her, and really in carrying her legacy forward. And this is the pattern shift from doing everything alone to doing it together. This is a pattern shift from being alone to being together, right? This is a pattern shift that is going from alone to together. And this is such a valuable one because in this world, and especially in America, which is very obviously very highly influential in the world, our emotional environment of America has been influencing the rest of the world for years and years, for decades, for a very long time. And part of this American emotional identity, right, is that everything is about being an individual, and individual, individual, and individual, and individual. And it's like, because this country is a reaction from the past, where we wanted to develop freedom, and where we wanted to have that freedom, and we wanted to have that liberty, and we wanted to be able to pursue happiness and pursue everything that we want. One of the core values that God instilled was that we're pursuing individuality, right? And that is the most important thing, that everybody is an individual. And while we do this pattern shift, everyone, it's really cool and fun to recognize that, here's what's good. We already are individuals. Right? That is the reality. And so we don't have to try and be so individual. We don't have to try to make sure we do everything so individually, that what can happen is that we end up doing things alone. We end up mistakenly doing the pattern of aloneness, and we can end up doing the pattern of isolation. And we can end up doing a pattern of strenuousness because there's so much import put on individuality, right? We've got to be so individual and we've got to do it. We must do everything on our own. We must not reach out for help. We must just follow the fact that everything is supposed to be done with such individual flair and fanfare. And while it can be very fun, right? I enjoy being myself. I enjoy the different, specific aspects of myself. And I could say I enjoy some uniqueness, which I can see is accurate, that is the case. But what I really recognize is how similar humans are and how the things that we don't want tend to all fit in the same category, and the things that we do want at their core level fit in the same category. And then the rest of it, right, is the window dressing, is the beautiful aesthetics. But at the emotional core, we are very similar, right? We are created as human beings. And so when there's so much isolation and aloneness, and this sense that everything has to be done so individually, and if it's not done my way, then it won't work out. And really, what we want to shift to, this pattern shift, is taking everything off of everybody's shoulders of feeling like they have to do it themselves and they have to be alone and they have to separate in order to be themselves. And we want to shift this pattern, right? And we want to shift it to togetherness. We want to shift it to that we create together, right? That we co-create together. And we go in the direction of our core intentions as people, right? We go in the direction of being together and being a family, whether in our own family system, whether in our friendships, whether in our co-workerships, whether it's our team ships, and that we go in the direction together, and we recognize that we are all here together for a reason, and that we shift this alone individual thing that I'll just be honest with everybody is pretty overrated, right? So great, we can do some stuff on our own. Great, when we're all by ourselves, we can like somehow manage things a little bit better or whatever it is. However, this is creating a lot of extra work for everyone, because when we all go forward and when we all go to our highest, most purposeful intentions, and we all do that together, then what happens is then all of that energy of going toward our intentions together, right, together as a collective, that allows all of our intentionality together to create things so much more easily, so much more beautifully, so much more effortlessly, and so much more in a way that will naturally represent each person's amazing contribution to going forward and to going upward, to going into an elevated state of existence, to really living on a higher ground than feeling like we're at the bottom or underground, as it were. And so this pattern shift, everyone, I'm taking some additional time with it today because it's a very important one. And why I love dedicating this to my Grammy Bernice and really just having her powerful intentionality that was born 103 years ago today come through all of this, is that Grammy, she really helped, she really embodied and then helped me embody the importance of the unit, of the collective, of the family, and the family moving through life together and carrying each other forward in all of our great intentions. And she was really incredibly unshakable about that. She knew that no matter what, if some of us went forward in a family, but not everyone went forward, she knew that that would be like leaving somebody behind that is meant to be on our team, right? And she also knew that if everybody was struggling in the lowest level emotions that maybe any family member was having at any given time, that we could all, be stuck in that. And so ultimately, she knew that it was about the intention of us going forward, being together and going forward together and elevating together as a family. She knew that that was the most empowered way to go, because she knew that the power of our intention as a family would literally make that happen. And it did. And I really loved my grandmother's empowerment of prioritizing and having our family know that this family togetherness was the priority. It was the higher purpose, because it was the baseline for us living our higher purpose together, for us creating it together. And so this pattern shift for everyone is to know that when we shift from alone and we shift from all this isolation and we shift from like, I've got to figure this out myself and I'm on my own and other people are better. And I'm like, when we shift from that to we are together, to like, let's do this together, let's be together, let's go forward and let's elevate together, that opens up a whole new world. That's a whole new atmosphere for all of us to exist in. Let's go forward together, right? So this is an invitation for everyone to make this big shift from being alone and like carrying the weight of the world alone, and then feeling like the main way through it is that you have to do this whole individual thing to like make sure your individual self did it, so you can say, oh, this individual self did it and did everything myself and fixed everything like, rather than replacing it so that every time when you would have felt alone or felt had to do something alone or felt like you had to carry the weight of the world alone, like you now, the rest of your life, this is the invitation for every moment that would have happened. In its place is together, is the recognition that we are all together and that there is great, great power in the togetherness. There is great, fabulous stuff. And in fact, all of the togetherness means that all of other people's happiness and joy and amazingness and wellness and richness, that all of that is something we all get to share together. And in fact, all of that stuff is available for all of us to share together. It's not even anybody else's. It, in fact, is available in the world, and we all get to share it together. And when we make this pattern shift, as we are making it right now, from alone to together, then we get to experience all of the fabulousness and wonderment and all of the abundance and all of the riches of life, all of the great privilege and all of the gifts of life together, right? That is the reality field in which we absolutely are at our highest level. So this is an invitation. I'm so glad for all of you to accept it and receive it and take this huge, huge pattern shift and move forward and upward with it. I, hope all of you are really feeling the difference from this shift, and assuming that you are and intending that you are. If this is something that's helping you, go ahead and share this with other people. And in fact, share it with other people anyway, because this is something that everybody needs and everybody will benefit from. So share this in your network. And if you like having these pattern shifts, if they're helping you and you want to make upgrades, this is just one pattern shift, and this is one aspect of emotional training that we do over at Dr. Tracy Inc. with my team of amazing emotional experts and trainers. That's drtracyinc.com. And if you want to learn more about that, just go ahead and check that out. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next pattern shift. Take care.